Good evening from Hong Kong, once again, where we have a very busy and long day two behind us from APLF. Walking around the fair today, most exhibitors were busy with discussions, although there were those who said they were a bit slower today, both in Europe and Latin America. Generally, among the people that we spoke with, the feeling is that it's a soft market with prices steady at best. We heard very little about steer trading today, and certainly not in volume. The impression was that few sales were being made and that prices on a number of selections like butts and branded steers were steady, mainly at the low end of last week's range. We did hear that cows were reported to have sold in healthy volumes today and at prices steady or slightly softer than last week, depending on the seller. With regard to demand at these low prices, we spoke with footwear makers today, mainly about the winter 2019 season, and one said that the amount of leather being used in the shoes for that season is flat, but not higher. Also today, we had a wonderful discussion about the plans that leather naturally has and the real need for the full supply chain from the packers to the brands to get behind this effort and support our industry. It was a very passionate and thoughtful discussion with lots of great ideas and contributions. And then finally today, we had the press conference for, believe it or not, this year's ACLE, which is coming up in August. CLIA leaders presented leather and footwear statistics for 2017. Interestingly, they showed a 3.11% increase in leather and footwear exports from China and a 10.7% increase in leather and footwear imports. For the tanning industry, sales revenue was 159.16 billion RMB, which was down a little over 1.5%, and profits for the tanning industry were down just about 6.25%. There were quite a few interesting statistics about footwear and leather in China, and we'll be sharing those in our reports, and you can also read about them on the APLF website. Tomorrow is the last and final day of APLF, and we'll be there bringing you the last things that reports on sales, prices, and impressions that we get from the close of the fair. Until tomorrow, good night. Good morning, wherever you are. We'll see you tomorrow.